the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. That was a made for C-SPAN moment. The secretary will resume.
Holy mackerel, all hell broke loose today in RFK Jr.'s congressional hearing. I'm going to share with you the top highlights so you don't have to watch the whole thing. It's over a couple hours long, not only from today, but yesterday. And by the way, that clip that you just saw, and I'm going to share the whole entire clip. These radical, leftic, lunatic protesters tried to break in. God, please protect this man. Everybody right now, leave a prayer. RFK Jr. watches our show. So does his staff. Leave a prayer for RFK Jr. in the comments down below. The person that you just saw right there was the co-founder of Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream. I mean, you're a capitalist. You're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. And you're falling for the mass hypnosis of this radical communist anti-American party. It just makes me absolutely sick. But that's neither here nor there for now. Let's jump into the very first clip. Here is Democrat Representative Murray, who brings up one of her constituents who's facing a hardship. And when RFK Jr. genuinely, sincerely, which I believe he has a very profoundly, thoroughly good soul, tries to say, hey, man, I'm here to help. She starts yelling at him and getting upset and saying, I'm the one here asking the questions. You need to answer to me. It's truly pathetic. Wow.
Mr. Secretary, one of my constituents, her name's Natalie Phelps. She's a mom of two from Bainbridge Island in Washington State. She has been fighting aggressive stage 4 colorectal cancer for nearly 5 years now. Secretary Kennedy, how many staff have been cut from the NIH's clinical center? I want a specific number.
Yeah, I can't tell you that now, Senator Murray. What I can tell you is that if you contact my office tomorrow, I'll look specifically into that.
Well, that is not acceptable. I want an answer back by that. She deserves it. I do it. She doesn't have much time. She deserves an answer back.
And wouldn't you rather get her into that clinical trial as fast as you can?
Absolutely.
All right, so if you contact my office tomorrow, this is if that happened.
You are here to defend your budget. I'm here to ask you questions about the impact of that.
Well, you asked me about a specific case that I want to help with. I don't think anybody,
but there are.
I don't think that should happen to anybody.
Okay, well, what have you, and I mean you personally, done to assess how those staff cuts are impacting patient care? She is one of many. What have you done to assess that?
I provided the guidelines that said that no clinical trials should be affected by the cuts. I have, Matt Mamoli.
Mr. Secretary, I just have a short amount of time. They are impacting clinical trials.
You asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it?
I want to tell you, you need to know this. You're here to defend the NIH budget, which...
Senator, do you want me to answer your question?
Well, I want to...
You want me to answer your question, Senator?
Tell you that Natalie is sitting there waiting for treatment.
And I'm offering to help her, but you don't care. You don't care about Natalie.
I reclaim my time.
I've offered to help Natalie.
I am asking you a question, and it is critical. You are here to defend cutting NIH by half.
The sad thing is if that's your representative and you're watching this, or you know somebody who she represents, RFK Jr. is 100% right. You don't give a rat's ass about Natalie. You don't care about any of your constituents. You just want your little C-SPAN viral little 1-minute clip so you can say, hey, look at me. I stood up to Trump. That's literally it. All they see is red. All they see is Trump. They don't see RFK Jr. there. They don't see Rubio. They don't see Secretary Bessent. They don't see anybody else. They just see Trump with bullseye triggers. That's it. They have Trump derangement syndrome in the worst way imaginable, and they don't care about any of us. It's time to drain the swamp. This next clip, I just love it. I think RFK Jr. just goes absolutely nuclear on Democrats for politicizing children's health. Watch this.
Anybody thinks that we did gold standard medicine in this country from these institutions, look at our children. They're the sickest children in the world. Laura, you say that Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days.
I'll give you that credit.
All right, so let's work together and do something that we all believe in, which is have healthy kids in our country, for God's sake. We can all do
Dean.
that together. It's not, there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. There's just kids, and we should all be be concerned with them.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Ms. Dean.
Absolutely. God bless him. God bless him. If you can't sense, forget about resumes and forget about credentials and forget about degrees and pieces of paper. If you can't sense that this man truly, genuinely, in the marrow of his bone, cares about what he's doing, cares about the legacy he's leaving his kids, cares about the legacy left by his father, cares and loves America and wants to do a good job, I think you have a deficiency in your soul, and you need to look deeply into that. I love this clip right here that I just want to share too, where he talks about gain of function research. Watch this.
We've also proposed a methodology for regulating and for determining what is dangerous gain of function and what is legitimate scientific investigation, and how to bring the public into that debate, which I think, as you point out, is absolutely critical. That is where we messed up last time. And as you know, we have some of the Democrats here who are, talking about the great science from NIH, but now we have a major agency, intelligence agency, the CIA, the FBI, the DOE, and the State Department have all agreed that NIH research almost certainly led to the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So that's not the kind of the result that we should be allowing or enabling. And we're going to end that now.
Here's a great clip where RFK Jr. literally has to correct this ridiculous Democrat who is spreading misinformation. I mean, the truest sense of misinformation and lies about cutting Medicaid and Doge. Watch this.
Do you disagree with the cuts that are being proposed for Medicaid right now?
Oh, the cuts to, this is I don't know if you understand this or whether you're just mouthing, the Democratic talking points. The cuts to Medicaid are for fraud, waste, and abuse. And I'll tell you what that means. It means that because of Doge, we were able to determine, and it's about 8 million people who would be affected. Because of Doge, we were able to determine that there are 1 million people who are claiming Medicaid from multiple states. That's illegal. It's theft. You're not allowed to do that. There are another 1 million people who are collecting both under Obamacare and
Mr. Secretary, that has nothing to do with the budget that's
These are
actually
the only
being
cuts that are
proposed
being
in the
made.
House.
These are the only cuts that are being made to Medicaid.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. There are another 1 million illegal aliens. We announced a law yesterday, a rule yesterday, we're not going to pay illegal aliens anymore. And guess what Gavin Newsom did this morning? He said we're going to take all the illegal aliens off the California Medicaid rolls because the feds aren't paying for them anymore. So the compassion ends.
Secretary, let me focus you on the actual numbers of the budget that's being proposed. Secretary, I regain my time. I think what you are saying is absolutely inaccurate in terms of the 13 million Americans that will lose access to health care. Let me tell you, the folks in my district are not actually getting Medicaid in another state. They can't travel to get it in another state. The clinics that are providing that life-saving care are the last resort for folks.
Let me tell you the last category. Last category is adults who are able-bodied, who refuse to look for a job, to volunteer, to get a job, or to show that they are in certain, or to take a part-time job.
I agree with them. That is absolutely not true. The vast majority of folks in a community like mine who are on Medicaid are working. They want to work. People want to be able to make sure that
they're in no danger of losing their Medicaid.
That's just not true. We've seen in time after time, including in Arkansas and Florida and other states, that when you put more red tape, yes, but we've seen this chapter before. When you put more red tape in front of people actually getting that life-saving care, you're going to prevent people from accessing health insurance and being able to go see a doctor.
Medicaid is for poor children. It's for for mothers, and it's for the disabled.
It is. And 13 million of those people are going to lose health insurance if this budget becomes law.
They're already losing their health insurance because of all the able-bodied people who are not looking for jobs on Medicaid.
Secretary, I'll just close.
It's almost like, you know, RFK Jr. has to educate these nimble-minded, feckless representatives and senators who know nothing about how the real world works, knows nothing about his agency, and he keeps calling him out on it. Here comes Mr. BS. There's a reason why his initials are BS. Here comes big oligarchy, Bernie, private jet. I just wasted tons and tons of CO2 traveling on my oligarchy tour like a champagne socialist who has to be corrected and educated about billionaires and no tax on tips. Watch this.
We talk about austerity, doing more with less, but in that very same bill that is being worked on in the House right now, there are $235 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2%. Do you think that makes sense when that same bill would throw 13 million people off of Medicaid? Should we give tax breaks to billionaires and throw kids and others off of Medicaid?
You're conflating the congressional bills with proposals from the president. The president
No, I'm talking about the congressional bill. I'm talking about the bill, the reconciliation bill.
I mean, the president is not trying to do tax cuts for billionaires. He's trying to have no tax on tips and no tax for
$235 billion by
how many
estate
people,
tax.
how many billionaires do you know that are making overtime or making any part of the
$235 billion. Look.
Oh, Bernie, you just don't know a damn thing. Well, here's another education from a God knows where these people come from. I don't know where these Democrats, it's like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Listen to this.
Well, I'm asking if anybody here, because you're asking us for money. We appropriated the funds. Did you talk to any of us, Democrat, Republican? You know what? There are actually some very bright Republicans, I will say that, on both sides of the aisle. So the answer to that question is no. So your decisions, were they based on merit or generated by an algorithm? Did somebody get Elon Musk's computer and say, okay, just make 20% cuts? You know if that happened?
I disagree with your entire characterization. It was like the recitation of a narrative that, everybody knows out there. And it's the Democratic Party narrative.
I'm just asking you a question.
But it's just not true. We weren't cutting thousands of scientists.
All right,
we weren't cutting a clinical trial. I mean, everything you said was essentially dishonest.
And how can we leave out one of the most dishonest, one of the most spineless weasels on Mount Moron? He is literally officially on Mount Moron with Goldman and Schiff and Raskin. Murphy, the guy who can't even lies like it's breathing. He is such a piece of garbage, such a swine cockroach. Such as Secretary Kennedy just takes him to school.
I don't necessarily want to spend the remaining 20 seconds in an argument over the science, but do you at least understand that that's the consequence of what you're saying? And are you actually still recommending people get the vaccine, or are you not?
Senator, if I advised you to swim in a lake that I knew there to be alligators in, wouldn't you want me to tell you there were alligators in it?
So are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
What I've said and what I said
It doesn't sound like you are. If that's
Are you going to let me answer? Are you going to keep interrupting?
Are you not?
Are you going to let me answer? What I pledged before this committee during my confirmation is that I would tell the truth, that I would have radical transparency. I'm going to tell the truth about everything we know and we don't know about vaccines.
Are you recommending the measles vaccine or not?
I am not going to just tell people everything is safe and effective if I know that there's issues. I need to respect people's intelligence.
I think you're answering the question. I think you're
And
answering
the reason
the question. That's
that
really dangerous for the American public and for families.
The reason people have lost faith in this program is because they've been lied to by public officials for year after year after year.
No longer recommending the measles vaccine.
Senator Marshall.
All right. And by the way, I said at the hearing this morning that I was recommending the measles vaccine. Go look at the transcript.
Man, Ratty Raskin gets under my skin. Goldman gets under my skin. Pencil Dick Schiff. But Murphy is now he is climbing the ranks. I mean, this guy is such I mean, I hate violence. I hate physical violence, but I don't know. If I saw this guy in public, whoo, Nelly, my wife will have to hold me back because this guy is a special kind of Decepticon, evil, rotten to the core. He has no innards, zero spine. It just makes me crazy. Here's another example. And then before, I just want to say this, before I show this clip, I'm going to share with you the clip of these radical lunatic leftists coming in and disrupting and essentially startling RFK Jr. and then Ben and Jerry's co-founder being sent out. But before I do, the last clip, I just think this sums up everything you need to know about these hypocrites. I've never even, I don't even know how to say her name, Senator Alsobrooks or whatever, sitting next to Blunt. She is supposedly, you know, RFK Jr. was supposed to be answering questions about the 2026 proposed budget, but instead he's forced to give Congress a lesson on what agency he belongs to. To me, this just sums everything up about these people. Watch this. She can't even, here really quickly. She's looking at her notes the entire time. Remember in the previous video I posted, I talked about all they do. They have no authenticity. They just rehearse. There's no spine, no courage to stand up to the ghetto Crockett's and the people who are absolutely hijacking this party. Watch as she's looking at her notes. She doesn't even realize she was caught in the most egregious lie. Check this out.
Are you aware? What does the assisted reproductive technology mean to you? Are you familiar with that?
Are you talking about IVF?
Well, it's assisted reproductive technology. It's a division. Do you know what it does?
Is it part of NIH?
No, it's actually a part of your agency. It's a part,
NIH is part of my agency, Senator. You should know that.
I do know that, but it's actually a part of, it's the CDC is where it is.
Okay, then it's CDC.
Right, okay. Let me just ask you, and again, these are all of the things you seem unfamiliar with, the ones, the programs that you've.
You're unfamiliar with my agency, that NIH and CDC are part of HHS.
Good for you, RFK Jr. Absolute facts. God, these mindless, brainless mooks. You don't even know. Actually, no, it's a part of your agency. The NIH is my agency, you dummy. Oh, it just makes me crazy. Okay, here's the final clip I'm going to share with you. This is the clip of, I just want to give you a warning. It's a little bit graphic. You're going to see some people being pulled out quite aggressively. And then you're going to see Ben and Jerry's co-founder, Ben Cohen, who is among the protesters, being removed. And may God protect Secretary Kennedy. Watch this.
The witness will suspend. The committee will come to order. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be tolerated. Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room. That was a made for C-SPAN moment. The secretary will resume.
So I don't know if you guys could hear, but one of the protesters was saying RFK KILL is with hate. It's insane. But then Ben Cohen, the co-founder, is talking about cuts to Medicaid. He's killing people. He's doing all these things. He's cutting Medicaid. I mean, leftist lunacy on full display right there. RFK Jr., we're with you. We love you. I truly believe with every fiber of my being that you have got sincerity and you have got the utmost empathy and compassion for Americans, and you're serving Americans' best interest. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Let me know what you thought of the top highlights and clips that were shared with you. Let me know in the comments down below. Tap that thumbs up if you love America. I see you eyeing my amazing hat, The American People Have Spoken, which is why RFK Jr. is there to begin with. You can get yours in the comment down below in our shop. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free, and as always, may God bless you. May God bless RFK Jr. and all who defend the United States. I'll see you soon.